there. This is Jen from Spokane Public Library and welcome back to A Year in the Garden. Now we are taking that series and doing a little spin-off from the garden to cooking. So bringing the fresh produce and see what we can do with it. I promised in our last episode of this mini-series that we're going to do a companion soup for the thousand-layer pancake, also known as the green onion pancake. And here it is. It's an easy summer tomato soup. Although tomatoes are not quite ready in my own garden, I am using the frozen one from last year because it all needs to be used up before the new one comes in. So what we're going to do is making a tomato soup. Brown the oil. In this case, I use bacon grease. Don't be afraid to use bacon grease because it actually adds to the flavor of the things you're cooking. And I am going to make the soup smell really fragrant by browning a little bit of onion. When the onion is softened, I'm going to add broth. Whether you use chicken broth or use just plain water, it will be fine. Plain water will be fine, but chicken broth, of course, would be a bit tastier. In this case, this is a combination of meat juice and vegetable broth. So I'm going to use that. But before we do that, I am going to put that cube tomato, frozen tomato. By the way, frozen tomato, all I did was to freeze, cut the tomato into half and freeze them for the winter. And look at the foam. If you use it before it's totally thawed out, the foam is very firm and it's just good as fresh ones. So the setting is at medium high. So I'm going to, and this is about 1 large tomato. Stir it a little bit. We'll let it simmer until the tomato is softened. And when we come back, we'll see how we can add the broth. Okay. So you see, you put the frozen or fresh tomatoes in, bring it to a boil and simmer it a little bit. When it's reduced a little bit, you add the broth. A handful of cube tofu in it, and this is optional. You don't have to have this, but I like to have a little bit of volume in the soup. Okay, and I think I want to add a little bit more water to this, and we're going to cover it up and bring it to a full boil. Cover here, and we'll wait until it starts boiling and come back to it and add the next couple of ingredients. So as you can see, this is a little bit soupy for me. Okay, now this is at this point that if you have somebody in the house that's allergic to egg, not for some reason eating eggs, you can separate the soup out here and set aside a bowl for them. After that, what you do is you beat up a couple of eggs and kind of like an egg drop soup. And really, that's there is to it. Garnish it with a little bit of green onion and then season it to taste. Soy sauce I'm using, and that's the only thing I'm using here in this Like I said before, when I cook, I never tell people how much seasoning to use because taste, the tolerance for salt is a very individual thing. So it's a little bit it's not salty enough for me, so I'm going to add a little bit more soy sauce. Now it's about right. And that's all. Literally, the whole soup takes less than 5 minutes. And I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. And so this is it. An easy summer tomato and egg soup that goes well with anything. The lightness of this goes well with the heaviness of the 1,000-layer pancake that we showed last time. It also goes with anything like dumplings, but it also is hefty enough for an independent soup if you like. So, bon appetit.
No.
For more easy summer cooking from the garden, stay with us. This is Jen for Spokane Public Library Home and Garden program.